Japanese fried chicken shatters when you bite it, and it's seasoned all the way through, not just on the crust. The secret isn't the frying. It's two things that happen before. Almost every culture on earth has its own fried chicken. But bite into Japanese karaage, and it feels like something else entirely. The crust does not just crunch. It shatters, thin and light, into 100 tiny shards. The sound alone is different. It is a sharp, dry crackle, not a heavy crunch. And the flavor is not only on the outside. The chicken is deeply seasoned all the way to the center. That is not how most fried chicken works. And the reason is surprising. It is not a better fryer, or a secret spice. It is something that happens before the chicken ever hits the oil. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why karaage is so crisp and so juicy. And why the real secret happens before the frying even begins. There are two quiet choices that change everything. So let's decode it. First, the basics. Karaage is Japanese fried chicken, cut into bite-sized pieces and deep-fried until golden. It is everywhere in Japan. In izakayas with a cold beer, in lunchboxes, at festivals, and in every convenience store. Few dishes are as universally loved. It is Japan's ultimate crowd pleaser. There is even a National Fried Chicken Association devoted to it. People take their karaage seriously. It looks, at a glance, like fried chicken you already know. But almost every detail is different. The chicken, the coating, the seasoning, even the frying. Each one has been quietly rethought. And quickly, before we go deeper, thank you for actually watching this, instead of just scrolling past it. Stick around, because the coating on karaage is not what you would expect at all. So let's start with the first big secret. And it happens long before the oil gets hot. The chicken is marinated. Before anything else, the pieces sit in a mix of soy sauce, sake, ginger, and garlic. They rest in that mix for anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours. The longer they sit, the deeper the flavor goes. This is the key difference from most Western fried chicken. There, the crust is seasoned, but the meat inside is often plain. You get a burst of flavor from the coating, and then a milder bite of chicken. Karaage refuses to let the inside be boring. With karaage, the flavor soaks deep into the chicken itself. Soy sauce brings salt and umami, ginger and garlic bring warmth and punch. Some cooks add a splash of sesame oil, or a little sugar for balance. The exact recipe is often a point of family pride. So every single bite is seasoned all the way through. Even the very center of each piece tastes of soy and ginger. That marinade is why karaage tastes so complete. It is savory to its very core, not just on the surface. It is also why karaage tastes great cold. The flavor does not depend on the crust staying hot and fresh. And there is a second choice about the chicken itself. Karaage almost always uses boneless thigh meat, not breast. Thigh is fattier, richer, and far more forgiving. Lean breast dries out quickly in hot oil, but thigh has enough fat to stay soft. The pieces are cut small, roughly bite-sized. That means more surface area, and more of that glorious crust per piece. Bite-sized pieces also cook fast and evenly. There is no thick, undercooked middle to worry about. They fry in just a few minutes, too. Karaage is fast food in the very best sense of the word. Quick note before the second half. I have full, separate breakdowns of the soy sauce and the marinade and Japan's other great fried food. You will find them at the end of this video and linked in the description. So if one grabs you, you can head straight there. Now to the second big secret. The coating. And this is the part that surprises almost everyone. Karaage is usually not coated in wheat flour. Instead, the marinated pieces are tossed in potato starch, or sometimes corn starch. In Japanese, that potato starch is called katakoriko. That single swap changes everything about the crust. Starch and flour behave completely differently in hot oil. Flour is full of gluten, which turns soft and a little chewy. Pure starch has none, so it simply crisps. Wheat flour makes a thicker, breadier, softer coating. It is the classic heavy fried chicken crust. Potato starch does the opposite. It fries up thin, glassy, and incredibly light. It creates that shattering, almost crackly shell instead of a soft, doughy one. Run your finger over it and you can feel the difference. It is craggy and light, almost like glass. And it stays crunchy for much longer after frying. That uneven, rocky surface is a good sign. Those little peaks and ridges are where the crunch lives. That is why karaage is still crisp in a lunchbox hours later. Wheat crusts go soft as they cool, starch crusts hold their crunch far longer. So the marinade seasons the meat, and the starch builds a light, shattering shell. Get both right, and the frying almost takes care of itself. Get either one wrong, and it is just okay fried chicken. The details are the whole difference. But there is one more trick that pushes it further. Many cooks fry karaage twice. The pieces go into the oil once, at a moderate heat, and cook most of the way through. Then they come out to rest for a minute. That short rest is important. It lets steam escape, so the second fry can crisp instead of soften. Then they go back into hotter oil, for a short, final blast. This second fry drives off the last moisture and crisps the shell hard. The first fry cooks the chicken gently. The second fry is all about the crust. It is a small extra step, but the payoff is huge. It is the line between good karaage and unforgettable karaage. The result is chicken that is shatteringly crisp outside and still dripping with juice inside. A thin, loud crust wrapped around tender, deeply seasoned meat. It is loud in the best way. You can almost hear the first bite from across the table. And it holds that crunch far longer than you would expect. Even the last piece on the plate still snaps. Karaage is almost always served simply. A wedge of lemon to squeeze over the top, and sometimes a dab of Japanese mayonnaise. The lemon cuts the richness and lifts the whole thing. It keeps a heavy dish from ever feeling like too much. Because the chicken is already so full of flavor, it does not need to be covered. The seasoning is on the inside, where it belongs. Compare that to fried chicken smothered in sauce just to give it taste. Karaage never needs that rescue. But here's what most people miss. The secret to karaage was never the frying itself. Everyone fries chicken. The magic is in the two choices you never see on the plate. First, marinating the meat, so the flavor lives inside the chicken, not just on the crust. And second, using starch instead of flour, so the shell is thin and shattering, not thick and heavy. Western fried chicken tends to build everything into the coating. A thick, seasoned, crunchy crust around plainer meat. Karaage flips that idea completely. It seasons the meat deeply, then gives it the lightest possible shell. So you taste flavor everywhere, and the crunch never gets in the way. It is fried chicken with nothing wasted. Nothing is heavy, and nothing is bland. Every bite is crisp, juicy, and deeply savory at once. So it is not really about frying better. It is about rethinking fried chicken from the inside out. That is a very Japanese approach to cooking. Look at a familiar idea, and ask what it is really trying to do. Fried chicken is trying to be crisp and juicy and full of flavor. Karaage just chases each of those goals more directly. It does not settle for a good crust and hope for the best. It goes after every part on purpose. Flavor goes into the meat. Crispness comes from the starch. Juiciness comes from the thigh and the double fry. Every choice is aimed at one of those three things. That is the whole philosophy of the dish. So here is your takeaway. Karaage is not just Japanese fried chicken. It is fried chicken rebuilt around two invisible ideas. Season the meat, not the crust. And use starch, not flour, for a shell that shatters. Two small ideas, hiding in plain sight. Together they turn ordinary fried chicken into karaage. Now I would genuinely love to know. Have you had real karaage, and did that crust surprise you? Tell me in the comments below. And here is the one moment I will actually ask. If this made you crave a plate of it, leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. And subscribe if you want more of Japanese Food Decoded, one dish at a time. To go deeper right now, the video on the left breaks down tonkatsu, Japan's crispy pork cutlet. And on the right, you can decode miso, another pillar of Japanese flavor. See you in the next one.